connecting people on all dots of the planet. It's so fun. It's just like a melting pot of all these healing journeys, and it's so fun to see what. I mean, it's like bittersweet because it's like, oh, there's other people there too in the same spots in the same places, but just to know that there's hope in these from these products and just such a great start and just so much direction to keep going. And yeah, so big fan of ZenCleanz.
Yay! Together. What would you say is your experience with kind of coming back into yourself?
So I'm like, I definitely know like emotions are really tied to illness and things like that, but I'm still pretty surface level with my knowledge. But I definitely have noticed you. I mean, I felt so light after, and so you just feel yourself better. You feel your heart better. You can feel your organs, if that makes sense in a way. You can just feel more in your body, not so outside of it. And so um along with that, I mean, I've never been a person who I've never really had, I wouldn't say I've ever really had depression or anxiety or things like that. But there was a part for a while in my life, and I've come back and forth in this type of state, but just a very dark place. And I kind of believe like I had, I mean, a lot of crap inside me, but I mean, whether that was mucus and parasites and all these other things, um, that honestly probably had a whole spirit and life of their own. And that sounds so weird to say, but um, inside me that I felt like was kind of taking over myself and what I'm feeling and how I'm, going about in my day and my life. And so I just noticed because I did see some of that come out. I just, you just feel your body better and you can be more connected and more in tune. And um there's also been some people in my life that I'm like, they kind of just had a threshold on me, and I've never like completely cut the tie because I'm not, even if someone does me so wrong, like I don't, you don't want bad blood with anybody, but like just to be able to remove them from my life that I haven't been able to in a non-toxic way, like happen instantly right after. Like I'm like, I don't, you just felt more, I'm just like, I don't need this in my life, and I don't know how to explain it, but that's kind of just as much as I've processed because I just did it about a week ago so far. I'm like, but it's just interesting how it just carries on into that emotional and different just relationships. You just notice things better that should be in your life and just shouldn't be. But
Wild. Did you have like a moment that you felt that sort of like, aha, like this is so different than anything I've experienced before?
a little bit, um, I wouldn't say it was so much more like like a second, but it just kind of the whole day was just like just I just felt like I was floating. It was just cloud nine. But because I'd say I've been detoxing for about a year and a half, but I wouldn't say I started really like detoxing to a level where it was really helping my body until like the past probably about for 6 months. Um, but I've been pretty like liquiditarian, I guess is what you call it, like the past year or so, just trying to do juice and cleanse and a couple water fasts and just kind of messing with different ways of a natural diet to see what can work with me. But I so I have digestive issues that are just so bad. And I've gotten myself a lot more regular with like herbs and juice cleansing. So as soon as I took the cleanse, I could just feel everything kind of mushing down. And I'm like, it will come out, but it's probably going to take a while. And I saw another video. I can't remember if it was one with you, if someone did a colon hydrotherapy appointment a few days after. And so I know a lady about 2 years away from me. So I went to her. Um, I went to her and it was just, I mean, those appointments in general, it's like you're releasing so much and you feel sometimes you forget how emotional that is too, because it's not just always something physical you're releasing. But and so right after I did that, I couldn't believe, like, it was just unreal. I mean, I saw it firsthand so much. And it wasn't like throughout the day. And so just after doing that, I was just like in shock. And I don't know, you just kind of like, I still feel like I'm pretty in shock of what came out of me, and I'm still kind of processing it. But yeah, it's definitely a moment I'll never forget. So I'm excited to do some more.
How would you say you sat with that feeling of emptiness, but also like fullness at the same time?
That's a good question. Because I'm personally just not like a very emotional person at all. Like I've just never been. And so it was kind of weird. But I definitely did feel like my body was just like in a blender. Like I'd say overall I just kind of felt kind of numb, because I'm like, I can tell like my body is detoxing. I can tell things are moving, they're going, but they're not coming out. And I'm like, what is it? Because again, I'm just I'm my whole life I've always just been told that, like, or at least I thought, like, you like, it's not good to be sad, it's not good to be mad. So just make the light, and you should make the most light of every situation. And so I would just like pile that and put it away and just, okay, I'm just gonna be happy. I'm not gonna feel my feelings or anything. But it's true, you feel the hill. And so as soon as I'm like, just try to get out of my head and get into my body, is really when I actually did start to have some bowel movements. And I had a couple releases before the colonics, but it's definitely just feels like new territory. And like it's so familiar, but it's so new at the same time. And so I'm like excited to experience it again. And I feel a lot more prepared now that I've done one. But it's just it's a lot. It's quite the experience, but I'm excited for the next one. So
Expecting.
yeah.
Did you notice anything like a few days after you had your colonic, like what changed in your physical body?
Mm, I mean, I I've had a lot of changes from doing juice cleansing. Because if you would have saw me like 2 years ago, I I mean, my hair was falling out. I could barely see. Someone would tell me something, and I'd ask them like a minute later the same question, because my memory was so bad, and my whole everything was off. I feel like I was just like slowly dying at that point. And so I also got on it very fast. Like I found out I had lupus, celiacs, all these other diseases and things like within, honestly, probably about like 3 months of when it all started. And coming from someone who's never dealt with anything, um, like in the whole, like any type of disease or anything really, my whole life, like I was really, really healthy until something happened before I decided to go to the Philippines. That's where, and I don't think it was the Philippines that really hurt me, but it basically, I just did something that I thought would help me, and it did the complete opposite. And so um and I think it really messed up my liver, and that's why I'm really excited to see, because every I do a lot of foot zone appointments, and I read a lot of books, and everything just seems like it's tied to my liver, like the foundation of everything that I have. And so um I do feel like I've rejuvenated a lot, but I know I still have a lot to work to go. But as soon as I started working on my liver and not so much like my digestion and getting things to go, I mean, I did. That's when I noticed a lot of things starting to heal up. But I also, doing the cleanse, I was like, well, I should do juice and keep doing juicing and raw fruits and just things like that after to um, maximize and keep things going. But then I'm like, because I'll drink water and I bloat, and it's so bad. And then unless I do like 3 or 4 days of juice, I can kind of manage it and fit into a pair of jeans. And even though I've been eating really healthy, but after I did the cleanse, I was like, all okay, keep juice as my primary like meals and things, but I'm still gonna have a little bit of food. And my body was really calling for potatoes. I live in Idaho and I love potatoes, but I don't eat them as much unless in like the colder months and things, um, just because as much as it does help, it just made me even more and more bloated. Um, but I noticed I had some potatoes after, and I'm like, I'm not that bloated. I could still wear jeans. Like, and so usually I would want to do juice and maximize, but I kind of just wanted to test the cleanse a little bit more and see if, like, okay, it really is all this crap inside me that's causing it. Like, I'm not making it up, and it's not something deeper. It's really just as simple as cleanse and nourish your body. And so that I was very impressed by. Like that was a little bit emotional, and I've been chasing trying to get rid of that and all the other things that come with having really bad bloating and just poor digestion for um I mean, I got home March 2020. I actually got home the day they announced quarantine in America. So it was really weird. I was like flying through LAX and it was dead empty. And I was only gone for 4 months and felt like I came back to a whole different planet. And just because everything was so weird. And I was pretty remote in the Philippines and didn't have a lot of access to just things that were going back in just in the world in general. And so it was just it's just everything just felt so different since, but it was just a miracle to have that and the emotions and just to have just it just brings me a lot more hope. So so stoked to keep going and yeah, and back to
Yes.
what you were saying earlier too, it's just we're in such a state, we're just so conditioned to not even to even have that there is a way of healing, that there is a way of hope, and that you are supposed to process your emotions, especially as girls. Like, kind of just told to like sit there, be quiet, look pretty, and it's such it's just such a whole new world to even understand your emotions and your bodies. And like me and my friends were talking about the other day, like you we're not taught these things in school, no, at all. But like even just like our cycles, like that is such an important part of our life and our body, and like we barely know what's going on. And so I mean, I'm studying at the School of Natural Healing and I'm learning a lot and it's been so great, but it's just we are so disconnected and it's so far from upside right, but it's definitely just exciting. And I'm like as much as I'm so sad that all this happened to me, I don't think anything else would have shifted me to be on this perspective and path. And I'm so grateful for it because the last thing I want is to be taken advantage of like a doctor or just not understand my body. And now I'm like so confident in everything of what to do when this happens or what's really going on, and just for all the future purposes and things that come with that. But
In the
yeah.
world. So, what would you say you do to create a better self and a better world?
Um, I mean, I'm definitely excited to continue this, and I've started like my own little Instagram and things like that. But I am aspiring to be a master herbalist, which I finish next summer, which I'm so excited for. And there's definitely a lot of other things in the healing arts that I want to do, but I think it'll definitely be based on, or a huge component of it will be doing the ZenCleanz and things. But I think the more I do it, the more I'm going to understand my body, and more things are going to come to me from that. But I think just being an example and spreading the message of just truth, I think is so money money based and so just sugar coated for so many wrong reasons, and it's so upside down. And people know me and my personality that I'm honestly can kind of be a stubborn person, and maybe this liver cleanse will really help me with that. But I'm also like, time is money and money is time, and I would hate to waste anybody's. And in a sense that like I could never be dishonest in any way when it comes to that. And like sometimes I'm not the friend to ask if if about this outfit or about this or that because I've always just been so honest. My friends always tell me that they never have to worry about me not keeping it real. And so people know my personality already with that and things like that. And so I'm excited to continue that more in like a health and ways for them to come to me with their health and things like that. And just to be someone's friend. That's what I called my Instagram. It's just your friend because I just want people to notice all the beauty and of just living a natural life that we've already been given. We don't need all this other stuff. The more simple you keep it, the better it is. And it's just been such an awakening for me. And it's again a path I never would have thought. It's kind of a dream come true of a dream I never knew I had. And so I just, whether it's with the ZenCleanz or not, I just want people to experience that of any amount because it's the best, just having that abundance and vitality. And so I'm kind of stumbling on my words because there's not a lot of people out there. And well, there is a lot of people out there, but like here where I live, it's still kind of new. And so it's just like a breath of fresh air to be able to talk about it. And so I'm just so stoked.